me to stay focused on languages and hands the phone back. I wait until he leaves the kitchen, and then I delete every single email between me and Mrs. Sutherland. My hands are shaking so bad I almost dropped the phone. By Wednesday night, I've made up my mind that I have to tell Missy Sutherland everything. I lie in bed after my parents check that I'm asleep, and I whisper to myself about the schedule and the punishments and how tired I am all the time. I try to describe what it feels like to get hit with a book, or to go to bed hungry because I used the wrong language. I want to find the right words that will make an adult understand this isn't normal, and we need help. Thursday afternoon, I go to Mrs. Sutherland's office during study hall. She closes the door and asks me to sit down. I roll up my sleeves and show her the bruises on my arms from where Dad grabbed me last week. Then I turn around and lift up the back of my shirt to show her the bruise on my shoulder blade from where a textbook hit me. Her face goes really pale and she asks if she can take pictures. I nod and she uses her phone to photograph each bruise. Then I tell her about the language-only rule and how we can't speak English at all anymore. I describe how Dad throws books at us when we make mistakes, and how Mom makes us go without dinner. Mrs. Sutherland writes everything down in a notebook and her hand is shaking a little. When I finish talking, she looks right at me and says she's going to help us. She promises that this time will be different. I feel something crack open inside my chest and I have to blink really fast so I don't cry. Before I leave, Missy Sutherland opens a drawer and pulls out a small MP3 recorder. She says it's from the Lost and Found and nobody has claimed it in over a year. She shows me how to turn it on and how to hide it in my pocket so the microphone still works. She says if I can record what happens at home, it will help prove what I'm telling her is true. I put the recorder in my jeans pocket and practice walking around to make sure it doesn't show. It feels scary to have it, but also like I'm finally doing something real instead of just trying to survive. The next week, I fail my science quiz because I'm so tired I can barely remember what the questions are asking. I stare at the paper and try to focus, but the words just blur together. My teacher emails my parents that same day about my declining grades. That night, Dad explodes. He yells at me in English about how I'm wasting all the money they've spent on tutors, and how I'm throwing away my future. I notice he's breaking his own language rule by yelling at me in English, but I don't say anything because that would just make him angrier. He says if I can't do better in the school and with languages, then I'm worthless. On Wednesday, Mom announces a new rule. She hands me and Wyatt each a pair of earbuds and says we have to wear them all the time except during tutoring sessions and when we're sleeping. She's loaded them with language lesson recordings that play on a loop. I put them in and immediately hear a woman's voice speaking French vocabulary words. The voice doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going with words and grammar rules. I try to do my homework, but the constant stream of French in my ears makes it impossible to think. I start hiding in the bathroom just to pull the earbuds out for 60 seconds and hear silence. Thursday afternoon, I'm doing my homework in the kitchen when Wyatt has his Mandarin lesson with Isabella in the dining room. I can hear them through the doorway. Wyatt is reciting something in Chinese and then suddenly he just stops. I look up and see him staring at the wall with his mouth slightly open. He's not blinking or moving at all. Isabella leans forward and says his name, but he doesn't respond. She looks really worried and glances toward the hallway where Mom and Dad are standing and watching. Then she picks up her pen and writes something in her notebook, and I can tell it's not about Chinese grammar. She's writing about what she just saw. On Friday, Dad is yelling at us about our progress reports, and I remember the MP3 recorder in my pocket. I reach down and press the record button through the fabric. Dad's voice gets louder and meaner as he talks about sending us to that boarding school in Europe if we don't improve. He describes how we'll be there for a